In honor of New Year's, let's not drop the ball. So welcome to episode 26 of Dysfunctional Nerdcast. I'm Aaron. I'm the one whose New Year's resolution is to not rub my halls in Josh's face so much.
And I'm Josh, and my New Year's resolution is to be a little bit more fit and active, like my partner here. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I think they say every New Year's resolution's broken by January, like the end of January, so both of us are going to fail on this.
I procrastinate on everything but breaking the resolution, so I might be breaking it by the 15th or 14th of January.
But yeah, so that's good to hear, though, man. I think I could train you a little bit.
No, I don't want to work with you.
Oh, thanks.
No, because I don't want to hear your shit. Like, but I will not be able to take you seriously if you get in my face like, push it, do it, come on, you got this, bro.
One more rep.
Yeah, bro, come on, bro. Yeah, bang it out. I was like, what the fuck are you? I'll start laughing at in your face, dude. Now,
my real resolution though, I do have to train for a Spartan race, so I got to step up my game too, man.
We all Sparta.
Yeah, that's right.
Spartan race, whatever. Is that like fucking mud running and shit like that?
Yeah, but you carry more shit like rocks and logs and shit like that.
Does that sound like fun? That doesn't sound like
fun.
Oh,
no, it's no fun, but it's just like you get to push yourself for once, you know?
I like doing things that are fun, not shit that's going to suck.
Have you ever pushed yourself in life?
Yes, I have. I have.
Okay.
Maybe in a previous life, but no, I have. Really.
All right.
Really. And I'm going to, if I sound a little wheezy or cough at times, I got to apologize. Just like my co-host was a little raspy the week before, episode before, you know, I caught some crotch cold from his mom this time.
He steals my jokes too. Just like he stole my germs.
Well, so you gave it to your mom to give to me. That's disgusting, dude.
Hey, you keep it in the family.
Hey, it is Pennsylvania, right?
That's right. So for all the haters that say we're not on time ever, just want to notate this is episode 26, which means we're every 2 weeks, motherfuckers.
Bang!
So right on pace.
That's what matters.
And this is our special New Year's episode. So like all New Year's things, we're going to do like a retrospective, a little bit about where we come from, how we got to where we're at, and we're going to do the first ever Dysfunctional Nerdcast Awards.
Yeah, because not only is it year's end, it's our first year as DNC, man.
Yeah.
This is our first fucking year. You know, like you said, every 2 weeks we put the fucking episodes out. We're getting more and more listeners, and we thank you for your support.
It's growing, man.
So yeah, we're happy, and we're looking forward to another awesome year with you folks, nerds, whatever you guys are.
So before we get into that, how was your Christmas, man?
Christmas is cool, man. It was cool, you know. I'm not a big Christmas guy, as you know, but you know, seeing the smile on your kid's face is what makes it worth it. It's fun. You know, my Christmas tree's got Chewbacca as a tree topper, so that's how I roll. It was fun, you know. I don't know, got a couple cool things, you know.
What'd you get, man?
Picked up, well, the kid.
I hear his vibrator just went off. that was a new get.
That was not from my kid, all right? I got this cool coffee table Stormtrooper book. Told you all about different kinds of Stormtroopers through the movies and shit. Really cool. You know, there might be instructions on how to build my kit that's been sitting in the corner for 3 years, but
you'll just skip over that page.
Yeah, I'll skip over that part. Nobody wants to know about that. What else did I get? Drawing a blank, man. That was the coolest thing, I think. Yeah, Santa got me the Spiderman game, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. I finally got a PS4, so I'm like way late, but I finally got it. So I got the Spider-Man bundle.
Nice.
It is fucking awesome.
Does it have like a graphic on the thing? Or
no, it doesn't have the skin on it, but it's just an awesome fucking game, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to play. I'm going to load it tonight, and then
I'm like 20% through in like 2 days.
And you say you're not a gamer?
I'm not.
Well, a real gamer would have it done in a day.
They would have bought it. Well, for one, they'd have a PS4 on release day. Not 3 years later, but
so I actually got something before you.
Yeah, I'm late on the gaming, man. I just occasionally play.
Yeah, and I remember like when I was like, what should I get? Xbox One, PS4. You're like, PS4, hands down. You know, it's the best. They've always been the best. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, you should get one too. We could play online. You're like, no, fuck that. I'm not a gamer. I don't want to play games. Blah, blah, blah.
My time's very limited, man. But had off all this week, so what do? Wasted playing games.
So basically, PS4 is good for 1 week a year for you.
Yeah, basically. But,
Goodbye there.
If anyone wants to find me on there, my gamer tag, it's going to be Classic Aaron, HOFF. So you'll probably not find me on there because I don't play enough. But hey, seek me out. Maybe you can play some Madden or NHL or something.
I hope people stalk the shit out of you and kick your ass in everything.
Oh, they will. I'm not a gamer.
Yeah, that's why I'm not giving out my gamer tag right now. Maybe I will. But I'll get my ass kicked in everything. My kid kicks my ass in everything. He got Black Ops 4. He runs around, just snipes my fucking ass all the time. I'm like, how the fuck do you...
Like I snipe your mom's ass? Anyway, some other shit I got the He-Man reaction figures, like the 3 3/4 vintage Star Wars looking ones.
Right on.
They're pretty cool. And got some comics, of course. Every Christmas you gotta get comics.
Yeah.
But other than that, just the boring shit, clothes, and, nothing worth mentioning.
So, hey, as long as you had a good time, you spend time with the family and shit, that's what matters.
It was fucking hectic, man. You got the 4-year-old trying to make his Christmas dreams come true, and then we realized we bought way too much shit.
Well, then his dream did come true.
So, like, thanks to Toys R Us and fucking Ollie's buyout, like, we've been buying shit since September. So we didn't realize, like, how much we were buying month to month.
Yeah.
Until we put the shit out. And we counted, it was 104 things. Which is just...
That's crazy.
Way too fucking much.
Yeah, it is, dude. Dude, you are like... People hate people like you. You realize that. You're like... That's like...
I hate myself.
Dude, that's like, definition of spoiling right there.
Yeah,
dude.
well...
It really is.
By the end of the day, he was just like, do I have any more presents? I was like, you motherfucker. And then everywhere we go, do they have more stuff? Why'd I only get this? I'm like, dude... I know it's my fault, so I can't say too much. And I was just like, you asshole.
So like 104 fucking presents takes months to wrap and what, an hour to demolish?
It was about 2 hours.
Dude, damn.
But then we realized today we have nowhere to actually put this shit. So my theater room's just like a disaster. Just shit everywhere.
That makes my day hearing that room is just a fucking mess.
And I'm OCD, so
Yeah,
I'm like
are.
a neat freak. This shit is like, I could barely concentrate on Spiderman while I played. I'm like, I can't function.
You're like, I gotta put this away. I gotta put this over here.
So we had to buy this.
Good. This is fucking making my day, man.
Well, we went to Target this morning to buy a fucking Cubby holes.
Cubby?
Cubby?
Cubby,
How
Cubby,
do you say it?
Cubby.
I've heard
I said
both.
Cubby.
Whatever. We had to buy those fucking things with the baskets to put all this shit in. So then there was more money gone, It's like, what the fuck?
And then those baskets have to match the fucking color in the room, of course. So
Yeah, they're gray.
Get something like cool, like Marvel baskets or,
I went with what they had at the store, man. I don't have time. The shit's got to go. I don't have time to order stuff. No.
So we're 3 days removed from Christmas and you're like, it's got to be put away right
It's
away.
got to go, yeah.
How long do you leave the fucking tree up?
Oh, I wanted to take it actually down today, but here we are recording. So tomorrow it's going to start, man. Once I'm done, I'm done.
Oh, no, it's got to stay up till fucking New Year's, man.
Nah, fuck it.
Yeah,
Unless I have people over, no, fuck it.
Mine stays up to New Year's.
You wish it did.
Well, your mom's not complaining.
She takes whatever she gets.
And she loves it.
So that's all I got on Christmas. You got anything else?
Nah, I'm done with Christmas. It's over.
So let's get right on to the DNC Awards.
Yes.
We got the biggest one first.
Always got to start off with a bang.
Blow our
Like I
load
did with
early,
your mom.
baby. Yeah, you got to blow your load early. So the first award is going to the true number one fan. The DNC Listener of the Year is...
Nevin Murray.
Congratulations.
Yes, Nevin!
You don't win a fucking thing besides us two idiots talk for a whole nother year.
Yeah, I don't even know if you get our respect.
No, you actually lose the respect for being so punctual with your downloads.
You are a nerd of podcasts.
Yes.
You're the nerd of the Dysfunctional Nerdcast podcast.
Yes, he is.
Good job.
So let the listeners know, why is he number one?
The thing that really got my vote, as we sat down and discussed this in depth and detail, was like, what makes the number one fan? The number one fan, when I put up the episode at 10 o'clock at night and I tweeted out, I put it on Facebook, it's going all over the social fucking media. Who's the first one at like 5 or 6 a.m. the next day making a comment? Nevin. Already listened to the fucking podcast, already comments on it, already knows what we talked about. Great episode, guys. I don't watch The Walking Dead anymore, but it was a great episode. It made me almost want to watch it. Hey, it doesn't get any better or more faithful than this fucking guy. It really doesn't. That's what really made me vote for him.
Agreed. He's the greatest.
Yeah, you know.
So there you go, Nevin.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nevin. We appreciate your support and look forward to giving you another year's worth of episodes for you to wake up early to and listen.
Do have to give a few honorable mentions.
All right.
So
lay it out.
Other contestants that were in the running. We got Tom Scott.
All right. Thank you, Thomas Scott.
Michael Banis. And last but not least, John Blevins.
Yes, John. Thank you so much. You guys, thanks a lot for your support. We appreciate it.
All the other listeners, we really appreciate it. You're just not as good as the others.
Yeah, but we do. We do appreciate all of you guys, okay? And girls and gals, women, men, children that are listening. Thanks a lot for the last year supporting us, helping us grow, and we are growing. So thanks to our international crew as well. I got to mention like Australia, Finland, other Scandinavian countries out there. Greece is in there. UK is like popping, man. I don't know who's listening to us in UK, but thanks, mate, because...
Mate, isn't that like Australian?
No, there's an English dude at work.
I think it'd be more like chum.
No, there's an English dude at work that says mate all the time.
All right.
And he says cheers. So cheers, England, UK.
Yeah, so in a year, dude, we got pretty far.
We did.
I'm happy. Man.
I'm proud of our efforts. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could say
fuck off.
I wish I could say the same. But
fuck off.
So anyway, second biggest award,
like your dick,
is what's the best DNC movie of the year that we reviewed.
Ooh.
So we're going to put a list up online that shows all the movies. I think it was like 20 some movies with our
about that
individual scores. And then we do a DNC conglomerate, which is just the average of our two. Mm-hmm. And the number one movie of the year, Ready Player One, it received an 8.75 out of 10.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Spielberg, man, hit it out of the park.
Kind of surprised it was that movie.
I wouldn't have thought, obviously going into it, we both thought this movie was going to suck.
Yeah.
But thanks to my buddy Wetzel, who also supplied us with Action Figures beer to drink during the podcast today.
Yeah.
What better fucking beer can you drink during a nerd podcast than Action Figures? But
decent beer. Thanks, Wetzel.
So thanks to him, we went and saw this movie. And wouldn't you know, the number one movie of the year, like hands down.
And goes to show, people go out and see a fucking movie. Don't listen to fucking critics and shit. And like it or don't. But that, going into the year, man, did not think that was going to be number one. I really had zero interest to go see that.
So I think going into the year, we also didn't think we would see or have this movie be our last or worst movie of the year. And it's Halloween with a score of 3.
Wow.
Personally, Aquaman was much worse. I gave it a 1.5, which I didn't think anything could beat Last Jedi, our first ever movie review. But wouldn't you know, Halloween pulled through, baby.
I'm glad that, for as much shit you give me, I'm glad that it sucked for you. That makes me happy.
You say I'm a fanboy of things. I don't get a bigger fanboy image than of Halloween, and I can admit that it's fucking garbage.
No, you don't. No, I'll admit, certain things, you can admit. You got to work on it a little bit for some other studio.
So I guess the other stuff's just going to be like our personal suggestions of what we think is the best thing to come out in a year. Or some of the stuff we talk about, best finds. So what is your best comic book find of the year?
Might not have been like because I'm not the spec collector that you are.
Your best is my worst.
Right, but I don't look at it as... I look at it as valuable to me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
AKA garbage.
And mine was getting a copy of Tag and Bink Are Dead.
Okay, that's a good book, though.
I never had it, and I got it for $2 in decent shape. So I said, I'm gonna fucking awesome.
It's a $50 book.
Yeah, so $2. I'm happy. And it's a Star Wars book I never had. And I never had it because I was like, oh, I'd rather spend my money on figures or some other collectible, whatever. Found that. It's my happiest find of the year. Besides like filling out some flash runs that I needed to, some action shit. I don't have specific issues, but those are like runners up as far as, you know, filling out my runs. So
Nice.
that was it for me.
That's respectable.
Thanks. I don't feel like a total, you know, chum here.
I'm going to go with not necessarily my most valuable, but I kind of went the
That's a
sentimental
shocker.
route as well. And I thought it was my coolest find and something that I was really into. And that would be my Rob Zombie autograph find on his Spook Show book.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember
So
when he got
pulled that fucker out of a dollar bin, signed by Zombie. I didn't have his autograph previously. Coolest find. I mean, it's still a pretty valuable book because his autograph's worth something, but hey.
Yeah, good one.
So that was my coolest unique find.
I am proud of you for going the sentimental, you know, personal value route rather than a monetary value.
Well,
I feel like you have grown a little.
Here's the thing. A book that's worth $100, you could find all day long and pay for it. I might not ever find the Rob Zombie book, even if I want to pay for it. So
That's true.
it's a harder find. So we'll stick with the comics. What is your favorite comic that you have read or purchased this year, or best cover? So it's kind of a broad topic here.
That is.
It's got to be released in the year 2018.
Oh.
But what is the best comic to come out in 2018?
I have no fucking clue. I only collect Star Wars comics. That's it. I don't have.
None of those were good.
Yeah.
You don't have a best one? Nothing.
Not really.
Thanks for prepping for this episode.
No,
I appreciate it.
That was the one thing that he's like, I'm like, but I'm a totally different. They all meld together for me. I don't fucking care. It's not, it was just, I mean, they're good books. That's about it. Nothing stuck out, man. That's all I collect. So I can't say, oh, I like this better than the other one. So I don't know. I don't feel like a total douche or anything. I just.
You should, because you are.
Eh.
But
Okay. What out of the 70,000 books that you read this year?
Catwoman #4, cover B, Stanley Archer, fucking the coolest cover I have ever seen in my life. So it's kind of like it's Catwoman on the cover from like torso up. She's kind of in like a masquerade outfit, I guess. It looks like it should be a painting hanging in a museum. Just unbelievable. And guess what? All comics are sold based on the cover these days. No one reads fucking books. The stories are worthless. So I'm going off cover art. It is the greatest book. Look it up. You'll want to buy it.
A DC book.
That's right. See? I'm
See?
not biased.
He's not biased.
Just saying.
And what's the one book that I collect? A Marvel comic. Like, brand new.
Exact
Like, what
opposite,
the
yeah.
fuck is wrong with us?
Man, that is true.
We're, like, dysfunctional in and of ourselves. Like, what? I don't fucking get it.
All right. So moving along. What is the best collectible of the year?
Buy this year? Like, did it have to come out this fucking year? Because I don't buy, like, shit like that.
What's the best thing? It was Sail Barge. It could have been fucking, I don't know, anything.
The best thing that I bought this year?
The best thing to come out. What do you give the award to?
Oh, did I have to buy it
No.
myself?
No.
Oh, I would say the Sail Barge, but fun factor would be the, I don't know if it's even, yeah, I think it's out, is that Lego Bespin that
Okay.
Lego put out. That looks fucking badass, and I don't have the fucking money for it, but if I were to buy any of those large sets, fuck the Millennium Falcon, which actually that does look really fucking cool, and the Death Star and Slave One, I would get that fucking kit. That set looks fucking great. That's what a set should be.
I kind of did a double dip here. So I went with
Kind of like I did with your mom last night.
the best one to come out was the Thanos statue on throne from Sideshow Collectibles. Mm-hmm. It retailed $1,200. That's Thanos' snap of your bank account going away. But it's fucking awesome. It's humongous. Sideshow always makes like the most intricate shit. The gauntlet lights up. Fucking awesome. But who can afford it? I can't. Buy too much of their fucking junk.
Yeah, it's useless then.
But for something affordable, I thought the Pennywise NECA figure was the greatest. $30, comes with a million accessories, awesome packaging, great detail of a fantastic movie, awesome character. That's my award. So those two, hey, you rich people buy the Thanos, us poor people will buy Pennywise.
Nice.
Um,
What's next on the list of awards, Mr. Showrunner?
So sticking with the retrospective thing that we got going on, we did quite a few interviews this year.
That we did, which were awesome and fun.
And we hope to bring a lot more next year. If you have any suggestions, email us, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Let us know who you want to listen to. We'll try to get them on.
Definitely.
But who was your favorite interview of the year?
Favorite interview was Mr. Bob Elmore.
Okay.
Hands down. Like, if you know us, you know TCM is my favorite horror movie, the first one, all time. That's my number one horror flick. Well, we're going to get the next best thing to Gunner, who's no longer with us, and have Bob Elmore, who was Leatherface in part 2. And just hearing his stories and just knowing the shit that he went through to film that movie, how hot it was, you know, sitting in that suit all damn day, you know, just improvising like he did, you know, the scenes that he had to do, lifting that chainsaw, which he said was the heaviest chainsaw on the market at that time. Wow. He went through a lot of shit to play that character. And, you know, not a lot of people might know who he is. And, he, you know, you get the other guy who played him in the movie gets a lot more credit, I think. And Bob deserves all the credit as far as I'm concerned. And he was a great interview. Very easy to talk to, laid back, mellow, you know. I had such a great time talking to that dude. He's a cool guy.
I'm going with Sean Clark from Convention All-Stars.
I thought you would.
Cool dude.
Yeah,
like,
he
it
is.
seems like you could just drink with him at the bar all day.
Yeah.
I found out so much information on the business side of it, which I'm always fascinated with. So, like, ultimately, like, that's what I would like to do as well. Something, maybe not to that scope, but something in the business. Who the fuck wants to work in a cubicle the rest of their lives? So,
you know, he would have been my number 2. It was a toss-up between those two, really. But just having Bob being in that movie was like, wow, I got to talk to Leather fucking face.
I enjoyed all of them, honestly. It's hard. It's hard to pick, but if you want to go back, listen to them. We also did Adrian King, Robbie Morgan, and Alan Troutman.
Yep.
So we had a guest on from the comic book store, which was informative.
Absolutely.
So again, go back, listen to those episodes if you haven't listened. That's why we do this. Like, we got to talk to cool horror people in the world. Something we never thought we'd be able to do. Have a conversation with these people and just hang out.
Yeah, and a couple of the conventions that we went to, you know, got to interview people there too. So that was awesome.
Yeah. You got your boy Darth Maul there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Which maybe I'll ask.
Hopefully more convention coverage, obviously, for the year too.
Yeah, we'll try to hit some more of those and try to bring you more guests and stuff. So you go to more conventions than I do. And so next on our list was, who at the convention was the best person that you met?
It's tough, man. It's tough.
I
met a lot. Going to Monster Mania, we'll have another one in March to review. There's a lot of people there. I don't know. I'm on the spot here, so I'll say, like, collectively, I think the It Kids were really cool. So
that's good.
I just remember it being, you know, funny with the chubby kid, where, you know, his mom was saying he had a crush on Sophia. And then George's mom was hot. That always helps. It's just like all of them collectively were having a good time. You could tell they weren't like eaten up in the Hollywood bullshit yet.
That's cool.
And they were just like, they didn't know what to expect from the whole experience. They were just like cool kids, you know?
Right.
I didn't feel bad giving them money for an autograph, even though they're a kid.
Cool.
So collectively, I'll go with them. That's my cheapskate answer.
Nice. Cool. I didn't go to many as you do. I don't do that whole thing.
No, you're not a real fan.
Well, no, I just spend my money on other things. That's it. But what I did go to, of course, we got it for free because we reviewed the fucking convention. One was Taylor Gray. I enjoyed talking to him. Got an interview with him at the Philadelphia Comic-Con. That dude's really chill, man. I really enjoyed talking to him. And Ray Park, of course. You know, he took time out. The dude was delayed getting there and all this shit. So that was really cool. Ray Park's probably number one. Taylor Gray would be number two. And Ray, just because he took the time out of his busy schedule, you know, I had to wait a while to talk to him, but you know, his handler wasn't too happy that he was talking to me, but you know, he realized what fans are going to go through, you know, Star Wars fans, to be able to talk to somebody and hang out with him for a couple of minutes. I talked to him for like 15 minutes, you know, really cool dude. So that was mine. Good personal experience.
Can't get away with our last award here. The dumbest moment of the podcast.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I think Josh is putting together like a whole blooper reel of some of her outtakes that didn't make it because we just get fucking way too drunk and oblivious and we have no idea what's going on as he cracks open a beer.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect cue.
Which, shout out to Wetzel for the duck pin. Dude, this dude's moving up in the ranks.
Yeah, Nevin, watch your back.
Nevin,
if you really want to stay ahead for next year, give us some beer for the podcast.
Beer for the podcast.
But, yeah, so we're going to have outtakes. I don't know if they're funny or not because we're drunk when we're doing them. So, like, everything you say,
it's
drunk
hilarious.
is funny. Yeah. But
so hopefully we don't come across it as two drunk assholes at the bar that nobody finds funny.
Which will probably be the case.
But I personally think there's some funny fucking moments. Because, like, you know, we sit here in my basement in a makeshift studio and... You know, we're just sitting around, you know, might drink a few beers, might not, you know, we record all different times of the day and night and shit gets weird sometimes.
You act like you're not drinking at 7 a.m.
I'm not even up at 7. No, I am. I get people, how motivated I am. I am up no later than 6:30 every fucking morning. Just so you know. But there's a lot of weird shit that can go on when... You've been recording for 2 hours and you got to do retakes and, you know, we edit shit and it gets pretty wacky. Earlier on, we were up to like 1 o'clock sometimes doing shit. And
so my number one dumbest moment of the podcast is we interviewed Alan Troutman. So we already were like an hour in. We're drinking. Afterwards, we go because we had to move the mics around for the interview. We go back, set everything up. And I'm like, dude, my mic is not fucking working. Like, this sounds like shit.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, I didn't change any levels. I'm like the producer end of shit. So I got the mixer, I got the recorder, I checked for levels and everything. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
I'm like, these headphones are broke. Like, it sounds very distant. Like I'm talking in a tunnel. Then I'm like, you fucking talk through it. So you talk through it. It has no problem. Sounds perfect. And he's like,
sounds great.
Sounds great in my head. I'm like, there's no fucking way this sounds the same as we have ever recorded ever. And I'm like, I'm going to try it again. We switch headphones. Does nothing. I'm like, so it's not the headphones. Well, guess what it was? We had the fucking microphone backwards. So as I'm talking to the back end of it is why I can't hear. He's talking into the front end, which is why it sounds perfect to him. I don't even know how we ever figured that out.
I don't know.
That was really fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was like, I was just fucking cracking up. Because I don't know how I didn't figure it out either. You know, just knowing the way the microphones work and this particular microphone, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't touch a fucking thing here. What the hell? I'm like, what did you do? He's like, I didn't touch anything.
So I'll let you hold the trophy for that since you're like the technical guy and you should have known this shit.
Wait a minute.
You fucking put the mic in backwards.
No, it was right. Is the way you moved the fucking microphone stand. I
don't think so.
Yes, it was. I did not. I don't think I changed the way.
He doesn't think, but I know.
Yeah, but it started off as you admitting this is the dumbest moment that you had. So you fucking take it.
It was pretty fucking dumb. Do you have anything to top that? Other than like our ridiculous outtakes?
I have just the outtakes. Maybe like... I get giddy a lot. Like, there's times where I cannot breathe from laughter and shit. But that's usually after it's gone off the fucking deep end. And, well, there was the moment where I thought you said something wrong, but you didn't. And that's going to be the blooper reel, so I don't want to, you know, spoil that. There'll be no spoilers in the blooper reel. But I thought you said something. You didn't say something, but you did. And it was a perfect take, and I fucking ruined it. But that's a clear second to your fucking
Like everything, he ruins it.
He ruins it.
So that's all we got, man. That was the first ever DNC Awards. Stick with us.
And here's another fucking blooper right here.
Fucking Sylvester
Live
over
in
here.
the fucking
Stick
studio.
with us.
I'm not editing that shit out.
Fucking bloopers galore. Stick with us. Hopefully for the coming year here and see where we go, man.
Yeah, we want you to stick around and listen to our nerdiness. Shoot us an email. dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Let us know, like Aaron said, who do you want us to interview? You know, let us know how we're doing. Give us some thoughts on the show. Check us out on Twitter. What's the handle?
At DNerdcast.
That's right. And Facebook, of course.
Check the YouTube page.
Yep.
Hopefully get more toy reviews. That's also something we started up maybe like halfway through our podcast. So.
Right. And that's doing really good, man.
Yeah, it's
That's
getting a lot of
really
views.
good. So appreciate everybody's support on that as well.
All right, so let's change paces, or should I say transform? And let's get into what we normally do, reviews for these people. So, of course, we got Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse and Bumblebee.
2 movies that came out right before Christmas.
That's
For
right.
the Christmas season.
So we'll get into Spider-Man first. That came out first. We're a little late
Yeah.
on it, but
Yeah, let's do it.
fuck, no one listens to podcasts over the holidays anyway.
We hope you do.
They don't. So I hate animated movies. I think they're fucking shit.
Yeah, you do. You hate everything animated.
Disney stuff, it's boring to me. It's for little kids. I don't need to see it. I did take my kid to this movie. It's his first ever movie, so I kind of was like, all right, I can tolerate this movie probably.
Did you have a good bonding moment with the kid? The first movie. It's
It was fun.
Spider-Man.
It was fun. I'll
Spider-Man's your dude, right?
Oh, man, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, the movie was fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. I
Awesome.
could not believe how good it was. And like I said, I hate animated movies. And for me to actually sit through the whole thing and not be bored, not want to leave, I thought the story was awesome. I was so entertained during the whole thing. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was a good movie. For a Marvel-based character, and this is where I'm not going to fanboy either, it was a good movie, man. I really enjoyed it. I think maybe too, like the thing that helped you with it was the animation itself. It's not a typical animated movie at all on many different levels. You know, it's not a musical. It's not anime. It's not, Saturday morning cartoon shit. It was different. That's what makes it a good movie.
Yeah, it was something so unique. And from what I read, the animation style was they actually did like their normal CGI or whatever animated project. And then they went back and did like artistic renderings over top of it with all the dots, like the comic book look. And, Frozen's like one of the most popular, I guess, kid movies or whatever. It has the most amount of animators. This movie actually doubled the amount of animators that Frozen had.
Wow.
So when you think about like the scope of how huge that movie was, and then this movie doubled it, shows how much work and like progress they made in animation.
That's
pretty
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see money-wise who does better.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man's nowhere close.
Yeah, I know. Let it go.
Yeah, see? That shit sucks. No one wants to watch that fucking garbage.
If they took out all the songs in a fucking Disney movie, I would like it 1,000 times better.
It's one of the reasons I hated Disney as a kid. Like, I'd be all right with it, and then they bust into this fucking song. I'm out. Sorry.
I hated it when I was a
Done.
kid. I fucking hated Disney movies when I was a kid. Except for like a couple. But now I'm like,
Like, what if Spider-Man just busted into a number?
I'd like it.
Of course you
No,
would.
I wouldn't. Totally different movies anyway. So
It's
apples and oranges. But no, I thought it was a really cool movie, man. I really did. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I thought the story was great. Like the way the characters actually came together through the different dimensions, I thought was explained really well. I liked how they gave a little bit of a backstory to it, but it wasn't too long because you didn't want 5 different origins
Right.
coming together. I thought it worked brilliantly, man.
Yeah, it did work pretty good. This is what I liked about the Aquaman movie, was the origin wasn't drawn out. You already know who the fuck he was, We already know who Spider-Man is. But people might not be familiar with the multiverse aspect of it, but still, it was done quick, which I appreciated. So that was a good thing for that movie.
One of the things I found faulty in the trailer, I hated the way Peter Parker looked. Because he was like fat, frumpy, and you're like, that's not really Peter Parker. Well, they explain why in the movie. Because the real Peter Parker dies in Miles' universe. And then the fat, frumpy Peter Parker is really from a different dimension. So when he comes in, it's like, all right, it makes sense that he looks the way he does.
Yeah, but I still took the frumpy Peter Parker as our Peter Parker.
No, he is not. And I think maybe because if you read the comics
I
from the Ultimate Universe, like Peter does die and Miles takes over the throne. So that's what they were going with. Like that's the real universe.
Okay.
And Peter does die.
See, I don't know that shit.
He dies in a flood in the comic, but this one he does not. He just gets shot, I guess. He gets beat up pretty much. He gets
shot by Kingpin, right?
So yeah.
Which is again Marvel changing a fucking story, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If
I mean, what are you going to have?
it might not be
a great
okay.
flood?
Why not?
Well, basically, when Peter dies, the whole Ultimate Universe dies. So you're wrapping up X-Men and Avengers and Fantastic Four, all of them. So
now the story I thought was pretty cool. It wasn't outstanding. Like I'm not saying this is Oscar-worthy storyline at all, but I liked that it was simple. Okay, it's simple in a good and bad way. But it's just a simple story that everybody can follow. And the thing about this movie is they had to run the gamut from someone your kid's age, like 4, 5 years old, to a serious Spider-Man fan who might be in their 60s or older. You have to run that whole gamut. That you got to make it interesting for everybody. So the storyline being simple, it worked in that way. However, it's no different than any other comic book story, really. But it's a good thing.
That's
what
was awesome about it was a comic book movie. It wasn't so much a cartoon movie. Like it just felt like I was watching an animated Avengers.
Right. Well,
it stuck with all those like formulas, and they did it right.
Yeah, and I still liked there was. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but it kind of had a little bit of a fantasy aspect to me. Because of all these different people coming together that didn't know each other, which is, you see this in fantasy movies where, like Lord of the Rings, you had the dwarves, the elves, the humans coming together. Think of them as different walks of life. The multiverse is different walks of life. They come together for a common cause, here they got to defeat Kingpin and return to their own little worlds. In Lord of the Rings, they got to come together, defeat Sauron and return peace to Middle Earth, right? So it really did have a cool, quest aspect to it, which I don't know if you picked up on that or whatever, but that to me was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Being a fantasy fan, it showed a little bit of fantasy in there.
Yeah, and I just want to get on more with the characters. Go back to Fat Frumpy Spider-Man.
I still didn't like him, though.
Jake, I loved him. Jake Johnson was the most perfect person you could ever get to voice him. And I don't know, I watched New Girl, fantastic comedy. He was Peter Parker, like in real life or on that show, and how he is. That's who he fucking is. He looks like that. The way he talks, Jake Johnson, perfect. Watch New Girl and you'll understand, man. It was just like the most excellent casting ever.
I don't watch it, so I don't know that. Makes it easier for him to portray that role if he's already playing that in another show.
That's who he is.
How fucked up is that? He's typecast in real life and cartoons.
That is pretty messed up. And the other person I surprisingly liked was Nick Cage. I thought Spider-Man Noir was hilarious.
It's funny.
Wasn't expecting it.
I said it when we saw the trailers. Spider-Man Noir was my favorite. And I just like that old time shit anyway, and I like the detective and the gumshoe.
Yeah, well, I liked the lines he used because everything was like a trife of what they would say on those fucking cop shows.
Exactly. That's why I love that shit. It's so corny.
Is trife a word? I said it, but I don't know. Did I use that in context?
What did you say?
Trife.
I'll roll with it.
I don't know. I'm making shit up on the fly, people.
Hey, it's a word now. The kid, my son, loved Spider-Man Noir. He goes, I was talking to him. We dissected both the movies as well because I had off this week and took him to the movies and everything. And I was like, well, which Spider-Man did you like the best? He's like, the black and white one.
Well, I love how he was like mesmerized by the Rubik's Cube. Yeah. It's like, color. I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm taking this.
It was funny.
That was funny. Yeah. I thought his character was really good. And Nick Cage's voice like that. So you knew who it was right away.
And his
perfect
voice,
fit. Perfect fit.
His voice fits that era.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he sounds like those cop shows.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I did like that.
I did like a lot of the jokes with Spider-Man. My favorite one was so this takes place in the Sony universe. So Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 exist. And they show clips of like him diving out of the way of Doc Ock as he throws the car through the window. And then he goes, and we're not going to mention this part. And he does the finger dancing like he does in Spider-Man 3. He's like, this is a part we don't like to mention. And he's doing the dancing. I thought that was just funny that they made fun of themselves. They know that movie's fucking shit. And they acknowledged it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overall, I think the humor, there were parts where it went a little bit more childish than it had to. But I understand it because, like I said, you had to go from 4 or 5 years old all the way up. Like you were trying to please every Spider-Man fan from new to old. So that's where, for me, I didn't like some of the childish shit that was in there, but, and
I didn't
like,
really find it childish.
See, the example is, when frumpy Peter Parker comes into the world and Miles is in the graveyard and that whole slapstick thing of, frumpy Peter Parker shoots his web by accident, gets attached to the train, they're flying through it. That was total childish slapstick. Bang, 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 they're flying around. He gets that stupid fucking snowman stuck on his head. That was almost too childish for me, but I understand why they did it because it pleased the younger crowd. But in context with everything else, I'm looking at it as old as I am, and that was just stupid to me. To me, it was stupid. I'm like, I could have done
I
it.
didn't find it stupid.
Nah. So they end up wearing, Peter Parker ends up wearing the snowman's head from a snowman, which, ain't going to fucking happen. Ever try sticking a snowman head on your head? It ain't going to fucking hold together.
Have you tried it? You've tried
it. Yeah, I've tried it. I did. When I was a fucking kid, I was like, I'll be the snowman, put it on me, It just did not work for me, and that was too childish. That went too far for me.
The only thing that I think kind of didn't work, I thought Peter Porker should have been a little more outrageous and funny. So he comes off as like very like Porky Pig. He didn't deliver to me. I didn't really need him.
Now, if you want to pick one thing that could have been eliminated and not even missed, you could have eliminated him totally and it would have been okay.
I thought he would have provided most of the humor in the movie, and he really didn't.
No.
I thought it was more Spider-Man Noir and just the regular Spider-Man Miles. The one thing I did find funny at the end is he goes, "That's all, folks." And I think it's like regular Spider-Man says to him, he's like, "Are we going to get sued? Do we even have the rights to say that?" I thought that was funny. It's just like,
but
it was Deadpool humor.
But part of me was waiting for that to happen. It's like one of those lines where you didn't know was going to happen, but when it happened, you're like, "Oh, that's predictable."
I enjoyed it.
I didn't laugh. Honestly, it was funny, but I didn't laugh because it's like one of those things. Like I said, you hear it, you're like, "Oh, that's not really that original." Don't know why.
But other than that, I thought the animation for the most part was really good. What I liked the best was when they bring Spider-Gwen into it, they show her playing the instruments with like the Mary Janes. That's what she does in the comic. The artwork that depicted in the movie is the exact artwork that's in the comic book. All the colors of the oranges and the pinks and the white, that was directly out of the comic panels. Then you get to Miles' World. It's out of like his comic book. And what was cool was they showed Penny Parker, who's like anime. So you're showing this animated like manga on top of the like in between the Miles whatever Spiderverse animation. So you got two animations blended into one at the same time, and it worked perfect. I've never seen anything like it.
It did work. I'll agree with you. But another character I could have done with Penny Parker. I didn't care for her character at all. I think if you eliminated her and Peter Porker, it still would have been a good movie.
But that's not, it's not blended enough. You're not getting enough universes going.
I guess, but I don't know. The anime shit, it just annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm not a fan of it though. So
I wasn't either, but I just found it almost funny. Like, they're doing the regular Spiderverse animation and they blend in and you got the slow-mo with the blurry backgrounds and her mouth is like, oh, like for 30 seconds. I don't know. I just thought it worked awesome.
I'm not saying they did a bad job doing it. It just didn't do anything for me. So good execution. I just didn't particularly like it. And I can admit that, as far as the animation was concerned, there were times, and I don't have specific instances because it happened kind of quick and I was just like processing it. There were times where I felt like I was watching a 3D movie without the 3D glasses. That annoyed the fuck out of me.
That was going to be my negative. That's what I said. For the most part, animation was very good. But the way they did the application of the tiny dots, at times it looked blurry.
It wasn't, I don't even know if it was even that, but there was like that. It might have been that coupled with the outline, say like a shoulder. You can see like, like old school 3D with the blue and red. And if you look at those pages, it has like that extra,
I tried to really like take notice of it. And to me, it was the dots. It was just like, if you have a series of dots, it looks blurry. It's because it's not one solid image.
That might have been it for me too. But like, I think there was also a couple times where you saw like a red line outside their shoulder, which I don't know if they tried to do it for definition, make it look a little bit more comic booky. But that coupled maybe with the dots, maybe that's what led me to, it was 3D without 3D glasses. That annoyed the piss out of me, dude. And it happened a lot in the movie.
See, I didn't think it happened a lot. It was definitely enough for me to notice it.
It was throughout the whole movie.
I didn't find it consistent. I found it like maybe they didn't work hard enough at that particular scene for some reason. They didn't render it enough.
No, I don't think it was that. It was throughout. It wasn't all the time. No, it wasn't all the time, but it was throughout. It was even at the end you saw it. It was like, especially if there was too much going on, I was just like, oh, it was too much. And I'm a big 3D fan. I can, I'll sit there for 2.5 hours with 3D glasses on. Don't bother me. This kind of annoyed me a little. But
I'll agree. It was definitely blurry. It wasn't perfect. There's no doubt about it.
But there were some times when animation just bad ass fucking awesome. And I loved the whole, where the words were going up the side, of like, it was like a cartoon panel and you were like,
I love the yellow thought balloons.
Yes. And it was done in a way that you kind of wish there was a little bit more, but you didn't want too much more because it would have been too much. So they walked a fine line in doing that, and they walked it well. I'm not knocking them for not doing it enough, because I think if they did it, there was a fine line, and they could have just went way too far with the thought balloons, the thwips,
like Ang Lee's Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, and that's like what I was, it was enough comic strip type look to it that was groundbreaking and different.
I just thought, as far as a comic book, literally jumping off the pages and coming to life, it's this movie. It made me it felt like I was reading a comic book while watching it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, man. It was damn good.
One thing I didn't like about the animation or their style of choice, I did not like Kingpin. I thought he was just way too big and like over the top cartoony, and he didn't really fit with the rest of the world. Nobody else was that ridiculous looking.
I agree 100% with you. My son said the same thing. He's like, he really liked Kingpin, but he's like, why does he look so different than everybody else? He was out of proportion with everybody else. And you had how many different Spider-Mans coming around from different universes, but they all fit together?
Yeah, when Kingpin looks more ridiculous than Peter Porker, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind the character himself. If they would have did everything he did, fine. But
not at all.
I just didn't like his animation style.
Yeah, just a big, stupid-looking thing with this tiny head. It went with the stereotype too far.
Yeah.
Too
Agreed.
far. But what the cool thing that I liked, too, was the comic authority stamp at the beginning.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And that's like nerds or comic fans are talking about that left and right. So I just wanted to bring it up. That was pretty fucking awesome.
I really liked the Stan Lee scene as well.
Yeah,
I thought
it was funny.
And I don't know if it was like a dig at Stan Lee a little bit, because he's of course selling merchandise to Miles and he's selling him a costume, and the kid's like, "What if it doesn't fit?" And they pan to a sign, it's like, no refunds. And like Stan was notorious for just like selling out. So it's like you were basically saying he's a sellout. But he does give him a nice piece of advice, and it was almost sad because it's like post-mortem and you're like, man, it means so much more now that he's dead. But it was awesome that they put him in. You got
it. Oh yeah. I like that scene. And overall, that was a good scene.
Where, it was good.
Everybody's like so enamored with this character, and he's dead, and everybody wants to be like him. And here, Miles ends up being him. So it was pretty cool.
What did you think about the post-credit?
What was the post-credit?
Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I guess those books are going to take off even more.
I thought it was pretty funny, though. I like, he goes, we're going to go back to where it all began. And all of a sudden, he's in the Spider-Man 60s cartoon.
Oh, that part. Yes.
And
oh, my God. That was fucking hilarious. They're talking back and forth.
He's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. That was funny. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just thought it was cool that they brought back the original cartoon and the new cartoon to bridge the gap.
But what was fucked up is before that aired, you see in the credits, thank you for basically that use of that animation. So I'm like, that wasn't in the movie. And then it shows up. I'm like, why didn't you should have put it before, but minor gripe. That was fucking hilarious. Yeah.
I don't know if kids even got that reference. Probably not.
Like, it was like, when was this? I'm like, before I was born. No, maybe not. But that was really cool.
But I highly suggest going to see the movie. It's not just for kids. You don't have to have a kid to go to it. I think if you're a comic nerd like all of us are, I think you'll enjoy it no matter what. So what do you give a score to this movie?
I had to knock it down. I started at a 9 because I really liked it. And I was blown away by some of the originality of it and the groundbreaking animation. I think it was groundbreaking, but I had to knock it down for a couple things. So I knock it down for the 3D looking animation. I didn't like the frumpy Peter Parker at all for some reason. I didn't like the Kingpin. I did not like the origin over and over again. It's like, we all know how this begins. I get bit by a spider, blah, 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 blah.
But they even make fun of that because he says it just like you said it. He says it like we all know, and he says it kind of like...
Once would have been funny. 2-3 times, not funny. It wears out the joke.
I thought it was awesome.
So that I knocked it down because just like Batman, can we get a fucking Spider-Man movie where he doesn't get bit by a motherfucking spider? Can we get a Batman movie where we don't see his fucking parents murdered in a goddamn alley? No, just fucking do it. We know the fucking story. I didn't need it. That knocks it. All those things kind of knocks it down to my 8.
That's higher than I thought you'd give it. That's pretty good, man.
I enjoyed it, dude. I started getting actually a little bit more excited as I was like, oh, we're going to go see Spider-Man tomorrow. Okay, cool. And I was like, oh, I really want to see this because I wanted to see how it was going to translate because the trailers looked really fucking good, except for that whole snowman part. That's the other thing. The snowman thing, too much for me. But the Spider-Man Noir, loved it. Loved Spider-Gwen. Thought she was awesome. I loved Aunt May in Miles' World. The whole underground thing was fucking awesome. Yeah, it was
pretty cool. Different take on it, for sure.
And I liked how he, made his own, took one of the suits, made it his own. Loved that, The father, he was kind of cool, as annoying as he was, but still gives that whole family message out there. So overall, good feeling through the movie. And so, yeah, it's a good movie, man. 8.
I just thought it was, again, the best cartoon thing I've ever seen in my life. I liked how it stayed true to all of the separate comics. The Spider-Gwen was very true to her comic. Miles was very true to his. His Uncle Aaron being in it, that was true to his story. I just thought it was like pretty much a perfect comic book movie. The only thing I'm going to ding at points on, and like I said, I didn't like Kingpin and the blurry animation at times. It was a little bit distracting. It was kind of like Solo, very good movie, but it's like, why so dark? It was kind of like, all right, this is a very good movie, but you could have just
Yeah, that was
refined it a little bit.
on that one.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I don't think either of those things were like, I guess they're kind of nitpicky. They didn't detract from the film overall. And again, if I can sit through a 2-hour film and actually want to watch more of it and hope that they do more sequels, a whole universe of this animation style, says a lot for the movie.
Oh, you know they're gonna.
I hope
They have to.
so. I'm giving it a solid 9. So
Good. I have a solid 8.
there we go.
It's not too far off, man.
Man, I was right in the running for Ready Player One. That's pretty crazy. Maybe we're into these animated cartoon things.
It's
Ready Player
different
One's
because
very-
it's fucking different, man. You gotta like you.
These were
we
two
talk
of
about
the
this.
most unique movies of the year, no doubt about
Oh,
it.
hands down, yeah, absolutely. Everything else was another fucking comic book movie.
And
All
yes,
right,
this is a comic book movie, but not.
No, it is, but it's not because
Yeah.
it's not live action. It's not a fucking Marvel Studios movie. It's not, a Star Wars movie. They all have their formula and their feel to it. Ready Player One and this one, very different, dude. Very, very, very different.
So round 2 of the movie review, we of course have Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, the Volkswagen.
It
Nice.
was a fun movie, man. Like I liked it. It was a coming of age story about
was.
a robot.
It was a buddy coming of age movie with human and robot
Yeah, it was kind
because she was coming of age too.
Yeah, it was like
She was going through some shit.
They're like best friends, so it's kind of like two best friends that meet
Right.
for the summer and have this bond together.
Right.
That's what the movie was. It wasn't so much about the Transformers or Cybertron getting destroyed, which I thought maybe should have been a little bit more integral to the story. But it still worked for me.
Oh no, I had a, like you said, fun movie. This was a good fun movie. Like I had a blast watching it. Like it didn't drag.
I don't know about that.
That didn't drag for me. Maybe one slow part, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, I gotta get it over with. Not at all. It was fun. I think it would have worked better in the summer. It had more of a summer movie feel
agree,
to it,
100%.
and I'm kind of confused why they released it in December. Because I want to see this in the summer. And after seeing this movie, I just want to go out and have fun with my friends, and
The whole
party
movie,
or whatever. But
the whole movie takes place in the summer.
Yeah.
They're at an amusement park. She works there. They're driving around with,
yeah,
sunroof.
they're swimming,
and,
they're doing things, riding a moped everywhere. But they are in California too, so
True, but you still don't swim at that time of year.
right. No, but I thought it was a fucking fun movie, man. And it starts off with a bang. I thought the action was right there, right off the bat, which is what I wanted to see. And it got the story going quick.
Yeah, so the beginning is how Bumblebee gets to Earth. So Cybertron's failing, they're having this huge war. You see Optimus, you see Soundwave, and all that animation I thought was awesome. So much better than anything Aquaman could ever dream to do. This is going to be the new movie I rip on. You told me leave Star Wars alone.
That's fine.
So now I'm gonna,
all right, go ahead. I won't even sigh because I'm like, all right. So for 2019, you're just going to rip on fucking Aquaman.
But it was done really well.
It was done fantastic. Dude.
I could have watched the whole 2 hours of that.
Oh, absolutely. Because it was like animation, but it wasn't cartoony at all. It was just fucking good.
Like, how cool would it be if they did the 80s Transformers movie, but redid it in that CGI world? The same shot for shot.
Well, I'm hearing
Fucking awesome.
I'm actually hearing rumblings. They're looking at doing something like that.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Which I hope they do, because people, check this fucking movie out. Because if you are a fan of Generation 1 Transformers, I can't see how you're not going to like this movie. And I don't see how you're not going to like that opening scene on Cybertron. Because, like you said, you got Soundwave, you got Optimus Prime, you got fucking Shockwave. I guess Starscream was there. It's kind of hard to tell, and it was a little confusing which Starscream was, who he was, where, when, or whatever. But the best thing for me was fucking Soundwave when he's like, Ravage, eject. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, dude, I got a fucking nerd boner.
And they actually had the Transformer sounds correct.
Yes, that was the key thing. And here Ravage is jumping out of the cassette, player, like out of his chest, and he's just like, oh my God.
It's what everyone wanted to see in the original Transformers.
Exactly.
Can I just have a rip or like a social commentary on Transformers, though? Has no bearing on the movie.
Okay.
But what sense does it make that Optimus is already like an 18-wheeler on Cybertron when he's never been on Earth? Like, they're supposed to transform to objects around them, but we have like jets and cars and semi-trailers. Why? How are they already? Anyway. But why? It makes zero sense.
It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
So they not just be like weird robots, and then the robots transform into cars or whatever object is around them.
Which was the cool thing about Michael Bay's Transformers. They didn't transform until they got to Earth and saw that, they take on the visual so they can blend in.
Right.
Right. And Bumblebee does that when he first gets to Earth. He turns into a Jeep before he turns into the Beetle. But
it just makes zero fucking sense.
It does. Yeah, I agree with you. But anyway. But because that was true to form of the cartoon, I gotta give that a fucking thumbs up and accurate to cartoons. That's exactly what you want to see. And this movie takes place 1987.
Yes.
Which is a little bit after, they hit here in the United States. I mean, it's like what every Gen 1 fan wants to see. Like, that was just nerd boner heaven, man. It was Transformer heaven. Loved it. Loved the scene. Loved that they actually put in the female Autobot. RC was in there.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. Like, they spared no expense in running the different characters that were there. So I thought that was really fucking cool. And little thing about the opening scene is you don't see Megatron.
No, he's not in it at all, correct? I didn't see him.
Right. And I'm like, all right, so he's not there. But when you think about timeline and everything, when he gets sent to Earth, it's 1987. Megatron, this is where the continuity shit still confuses the fuck out of me. We'll have to get into this. Megatron's already on Earth, according to Michael Bay's Transformers, which this is supposed to be a direct prequel to those. Like, they're not dismissing that, which I don't understand. But Megatron's already on Earth, so that's why he's not there on Cybertron. So Shockwave would be in control.
The only way this movie has any bearing with the other one is at the very end. So he transforms into the old Camaro, and she just makes a line like, "Oh my God, you could have been a Camaro this whole time instead of this shitty Volkswagen
which was
Bug."
funny.
So it worked, and then obviously when Shia LaBeouf finds him, he's the old Camaro. Other than that, there's no commentary on the other movies whatsoever.
There is one other thing. Agent Simmons. There's a younger version. He's the Sector 7 guy in the 2007 movie that's going after Shia LaBeouf's character, the goofy guy.
I didn't pick up. I don't even know who it is.
Yeah, his character was in this movie. And that was the cool thing. They had Sector 7 in this movie, which was like that secret X-Files type branch of the government that researches all like the aliens.
Well, this whole fucking time I thought Al Gore invented the internet. Fucking Transformers invented it.
Fuck yeah, they did.
God damn.
Al Gore, you did shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Al Gore.
But that's why the continuity is really fucked up. We can get into it now. I guess, like you said, changing into the Camaro. All right, great.
Well, like in the original movie,
Simmons thing, okay.
In the original movie, they have no idea who the Transformers are. In this movie, he does kill a few people. Like the Decepticons kill a few people. They didn't kill the entire government agency that knew about Transformers. No. So why do they play stupid in the first movie? Oh, I don't know what these things are. They're aliens. Oh my God, where are they from? You already know where they're from. You've studied them. You have them. It made zero sense.
Plus, big time spoiler here. At the end of the fucking movie, Optimus Prime lands.
I wasn't 100% sure if it was Optimus or just a semi that looked like Optimus.
That was fucking Optimus. And then everybody else comes down. I didn't notice a
Transformer symbol on it.
So it's not him?
Well, he would have to have the Autobot symbol. And
He's fucking standing there. And everybody else comes down. You see these meteors of them crashing.
Oh, you're talking in the post-credit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you see them coming crashing down. And they're like, we're here. Thank you for saving Earth. Autobots, transform. But then in the 2000s, 20 years later, they land again. And if they give a fucking memory wipe, because that's what they did with Bumblebee in this movie, a little bit of a memory wipe thing. If they do that to explain why they were here, but then they weren't. They went back into space and came back. Bullshit. It's fucking weak.
Yeah, it
So
was
I
the
don't
weakest part of the
understand how-
movie. I didn't hate it enough to
No.
gripe about it, I guess, but it just doesn't really make sense.
Just call this a fucking what it is. It's a reboot.
Just called it, standalone movie.
Yeah.
But it is Bumblebee. It's not Transformers. It's Bumblebee.
Right.
So, and Bumblebee himself, I really liked.
Oh, I love them, man.
I like how he had a voice in the beginning.
Yes.
It gets damaged in the fight, and then basically he works with the main girl to learn how to use his voice through the radio.
Right. And that
Pretty
was a
good.
good, and the whole buddy thing and bonding and everything, like they bonded. She helped with the radio because he's trying to use the radio, but it's a fucking AM radio. It's not getting good reception. And she realizes what he's doing, takes another radio and puts it in.
I like the comedy when she tries to have certain
The cassette
cassettes
tapes.
played, and he
Yeah.
just spits them out across the room like,
Yeah, like-
this shit's garbage.
Rick Astley, never going to give you up. He's just like, right, spits it right out. There's a couple other things. But you talk about the music. Music was actually pretty good. Like, aside from that, it fit, and it was different. I don't think it used the stereotypical 80s soundtrack, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, because honestly, some of them I haven't heard before.
Well, like a lot of it revolved around the Smiths, which, the main character, her father died. They had this bond over diving and everything. And she was a high school diver, championship diver. And she had this bond with him over this. And so he passes away from a heart attack. And she turns into that brooding teenager. What teenager in the 80s who was brooding and pre-goth did not listen to the fucking Smiths? Not a one. They all did, perfect. And I mean, I'm not a big Smiths fan myself, or a Morrissey fan, whatever.
I don't know
But
if
it
they did,
fits.
I don't know if they did that because the line that Bumblebee tells her towards the end of the movie was like so fitting, and it's obviously played from a Smith song. I don't know if that's the only reason they chose that or not, or they just chose that line based on they already had the Smiths. I don't know, but it did work.
No, I think it all fit. It all fit together. Key and lock, it fit.
I gotta say, with her fucking diving thing, okay, at the end of the movie, Bumblebee's like drowning or something. He's in
Yeah,
the water.
yeah.
And she's on this like cliff that's basically like the high dive. She stands in like the perfect diving pose, jumps off. I expect her to do like a triple axel dive or something. I rolled my eyes so hard. Like, seriously, just jump in the water. I don't need this diving performance. Ugh, it was cringeworthy.
I was hoping she could do like 5 or 7 flips in the air.
It's like, God.
But
I was hoping she'd Greg Louganis herself.
But it hit too on like the tribulations of being a teenager, like being picked on and like the shitty fucking,
The rich kids that got everything.
yeah, the shitty rich kids are like, oh, why don't you have your daddy buy you a new car? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, he's dead. Like,
Can you imagine if somebody said that?
oh, I'd fucking kill somebody. But
I do have a friend in elementary school that told my other friend, if I had a son like you, I would have killed myself too. And his dad did commit suicide. So
oh my God.
there you go. So it's true stuff that people say.
That's what I'm getting at. This is like, I think this is true shit that does go on, and it hits, and it leaves a mark. You feel like that's the cool thing too. Like, you kind of felt for this girl. It was a little bit predictable with things, but you still kind of were invested enough in her in her character. You wanted to see her succeed. You wanted her to be the hero. You knew she was going to dive off of something eventually. You knew that was going to fucking happen, but it still left you with that feel good kind of feeling to it. So overall, I mean, between the teen angst, the growing up, the neighbor next door who's like interested in her, the guy next door, he's like, ooh, she's kind of hot, in a weird tomboyish way. And
You should know my favorite part of this movie. I mean, sticking with this teenage angst and the romance, it was very John Hughes. And then you have the whole Breakfast Club thing.
oh, dude, that was fucking hilarious. The ending when he hits that.
Bumblebee watches Breakfast Club just in this chick's garage, and he actually likes it. And at the end of the movie, like, John Cena salutes him, and Bumblebee gives the, fist in the air like Judd Nelson does at the end of the movie, in the football field.
Yep.
And I was like, Breakfast Club's my favorite movie ever, so I'm like, this is awesome.
And that's what also makes it.
I know it's funny.
it makes it this was an 80s movie through and through. It really
was. But I found a little bit of fault in that. I thought they tried a little too hard to make it 80s. It was just like, I get it's 1987. Like, you're beating it over my head through the music, the clothes, like every her headset.
See, I love that shit.
Everything was like, but the movie's not based on nostalgia. Like, it's not Ready Player One.
No.
And I thought they tried to do that. Like, you're trying too hard for nostalgia. It's not about nostalgia. It's about a timepiece or time period.
No, it's definitely part nostalgia. Definitely.
But you shouldn't be nostalgia about something that's taking place in the movie at current time. And that's what I felt. I felt like they were trying to be nostalgia about 1987, but you're in 1987. It's like when they go back in time in Terminator, it's not about nostalgia. It's current day. And I felt like they were nostalgic about everything. How can you be when it's present?
I think they represented 1987. That's what it was.
I just thought it was way overdone.
You're picking on these fucking headphones. What headphones do you want? The ones we're wearing right now?
No, it was
you want beats on their fucking head?
It was just every single thing in the movie.
It has to be. Then it's not accurate.
There's a lot of things that are like timeless, and they didn't do a single one of them.
What?
None of them.
See, I think that they hit on, the older station wagon being the family car, the BMWs, the rich kids, everything like that. Like, it all clicked. You knew it was 1987 because of what they used. It was accurate. Even if it wasn't 100%, it seemed accurate. I don't know if it was actually a 1987 or younger fucking BMW, but it sure looked like one from the fucking 80s. The headphones were fine. The cassette, I loved the cassette Walkman over that fucking bed. Nobody has a bed frame like that anymore where they have like those shelves as your headboard and shit. Nobody has that. That's the fucking 80s, dude. Perfect.
It was too much for me.
Perfect. And if it wasn't there, I bet you'd be griping that it wasn't 80s enough. You can't take away that shit at all. Then it's not 1987. Might as well make it 2007, 2017, 18, whatever the year we're in. I liked it.
Too much.
But it did hit on nostalgic factor as far as Generation 1, Transformers. It nailed that shit. Fucking perfect. It's not a Peterbilt truck from 2007 with that longer extended like engine covering. It's that flat face truck that you would see in the 80s. That's, people are, they're like online, they're like, well, the Michael Bay's isn't accurate. Well, it is for fucking 2007. That's what a fucking Mack truck looks like, or a Volvo looks like in fucking 2007. That's what they're going to transform into. This is what a truck looks like in fucking 1987. That's what an older Beetle looks like. That's what this plane looks like. So they nailed that shit.
I gotta say, the major thing that was wrong with this movie was John Cena.
I agree.
Holy Christ, could he not act?
Someone needs to tell him, I'm sorry, dude. You're not Dwayne Johnson. You're not the fucking Rock. You will never be the fucking Rock.
So was he trying to be funny at times? Like, he says the line so dry. I don't know if it was meant as comedy or he just came off as such a bad actor that it made it semi-funny. I never laughed at it. It was kind of...
No.
It looked like bad acting to me.
I hate to say combo of the two, but I think it's coupled with his bad acting, and they're kind of like, well, he's a dry military type guy. Who's going to be dry military? Well, John Cena, because he can't fucking act.
He was bad.
I did not. Bad. Discussing it with the boy said the same thing. He's like, I don't know what that guy's deal was. Like, I didn't find him funny, and he wasn't. And if you had someone, I think more like The Rock doing it, it would have come across a lot better. The delivery would have been different, and it still could have come across dry, but a lot funnier. A lot funnier.
And then the other fault I had with it, I did think it was slow, really slow at parts, actually. Me and my wife both had the same thought on it, that it was probably half an hour too long. And there were certain scenes in that movie, like she goes to the cliff and you're saying where that girl says something, oh, I wish your dad would have bought you a car. The guy challenges her to jump off the cliff. She doesn't. She gets back in the car. It's like 10 minutes long.
I don't think it's fucking 10
minutes. It literally set up nothing. It accomplished nothing. It had no other story part because they made fun of her previous to the movie.
Dude, that totally
They made fun of her after. She was already friends with the nerdy guy next door. You could have just had him drive around with Bumblebee like they did prior to that scene and after that scene. It was just 10 minutes of nothing. And that happened probably 3 or 4 times in the movie. Take that shit out, it's half an hour shorter, and I'm not bored.
I think that set up the scene of when they TP'd her house 100%. That's what,
I didn't need that either. Yes, there was funny when he smashed the eggs and jumped on the car. Yeah. I didn't need it. It accomplished nothing for this story.
I just think it provided enough comic relief there.
To me,
I did not.
To me, they're like, we have to have a 2-hour movie. What can we put in? Oh, let's put this filler in. Put it in. Just put it in because we need the 2-hour time limit.
I didn't have that much of an issue with it. It didn't bother me.
I hated it.
I did not feel bored at this movie.
I was bored several times, and actually, the guy next to me, he left like maybe 45 minutes into it. And after like 15 minutes, I'm like, that guy's taking a really long dump. He never came back. And now, I don't think the movie was bad enough to walk out on by any means, but that dude walked out. Like, he was obviously bored.
I don't know. That's his problem, I guess, because that was not that boring.
It was a little slow,
I wouldn't even say it was boring at all.
The fact that you thought Aquaman was not boring would make you think this movie's the most exciting movie of all time. Because it was definitely more exciting than Aquaman. Even though it was still slow.
It was not slow. Even the scene where they kind of ripped off the 2007 movie where Bumblebee's trashing the house, where in the 2007 one.
This was one of the problems I had with the movie.
They're all trashing the outside. It was very, very similar, just the whole thing. And they don't understand how to act. They don't know how to act in this world. That seemed a little bit childish to me. Like, you don't know how big you are. You don't know where the roof of the house is. Like, just like you and I know to duck our heads going through a doorway, a fucking intelligent robot who fights on another world and can travel interstellarly, if that's a word, doesn't know that they should duck their head somewhere, doesn't know that a couch can't support them. I don't know. That scene was a little bit of a ripoff, but I still didn't mind it, but it was like, eh.
I didn't have a problem with the scene necessarily, but the fact that it was so relatable with the first movie. And I thought the first movie was a coming of age basically between Shia and Bumblebee as well. And I thought it was done much quicker and much better than it was in the Bumblebee movie. And the first movie centers a lot more about the fighting and these battles on Earth. And the fact that you could tell the coming of age part in 15 minutes, whereas this movie took an hour and a half, just goes to show me how much more condensed you could have made this movie. And that's why it was boring to me. I've seen it done. It was accomplished well in 15 minutes.
So what other coming of age movies took more than 15 minutes? Like Stand By Me, the whole entire movie is
But that's what the movie's supposed to be. This is supposed to be an action adventure movie about robots, and it's really not. They
comboed the two, though.
You could have cut out half an hour, no problem.
I don't know. It was not a deal breaker for me.
So, I mean, how do you rank this with the other movies? Like on Rotten Tomatoes, this was like 94%, which is just not warranted at all.
I don't think it deserves that high. I don't think Spider-Man deserved the 100% that it had going into it. What's that, 96, 97 now? Yeah, I still don't think it does.
And FYI, Aquaman was down to like 64% and dropping more.
Critic or audience?
The combined, whatever, like the actual
Yeah, because I saw audience going into the weekend. Well, after the Thursday, Friday, it went from like 87 down to like 84. Last I checked, I think it was Wednesday, it was down to 80, which I expected 100%.
But anyway, I thought this was the second best Transformers movie. I do like the first one a lot more. I thought the last few, the Mark Wahlberg ones, are unwatchable. They're pieces of garbage.
They're terrible.
I can't even watch them. I have no idea what's going on because there's literally no story.
I agree with you there.
But I would put this between, ahead of the second and third one.
I agree with that because I really liked the 2007 one, Michael Bay's first one, because you finally got a live action Transformers movie. And it was badass. And it was modern. It fit into 2007 perfectly. This movie, representing 1987, 20 years early, I thought it was done very fucking well. I'm not saying it was perfect because it wasn't perfect. But it was a damn good movie. Okay. And if you grew up, like I grew up I was in 4th grade in 1984 when these toys and these shows were at the height, 84, 85. Like, that's when the shit was breaking. And everybody was playing with Transformers from, like, I'll say 84 to 86. Like, it was like, oh my God, like, this brought me back to my childhood. So it hit the nostalgia factor for me. And I think if you grew up with the Gen 1 and you knew all this shit, you were like, damn, this is fucking awesome. So I give it an 8.5.
Wow. I'm going with a 6. It was an R-right movie. I had enough fun with it. It was coming of age. I thought there should have been a little bit more of the action adventure into it because it is Transformers. It was just too slow at parts. Like I said, cut out half an hour, which is a quarter of your movie. Right. I can't rank it that high. It's just too many eye-rolling things. The acting's really bad with John Cena, and he's the second main character in the movie. So if he's really that bad, you can't rate it high. I'm going with a 6. It was fun to watch. I would buy it. I'll rewatch it, but it's not going to change your life. I wouldn't tell people to rush out and go watch it in theaters. Wait for the video. It's fine to watch. Nothing spectacular.
See, both of these movies we just discussed, I would have given them a 9. Hands down if they were the way I wanted them to be. But I had to take off more on Spider-Man because there's more things in Spider-Man that I disliked than the things in here. John Cena was the number one thing that I didn't fucking like. That was really it.
He's the second main character of the movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. Dude, he's not even half in the fucking movie. You're thinking
he's
about
in
his
a lot.
fucking name.
He's in a lot of the movie, dude, because he's reoccurring all the time.
Yeah, but I think
her parents were fucking super annoying. The little brother was stupid. None of the characters were that good.
I think that fit 80s feel very well. The parents, the brother being that annoying, the housing, the fucking next door neighbor, the amusement park, the whole dumping the lemonade on the fucking guy, being the outcast in school, you know.
So you're going to rank a movie high that brought... These are nothing new. These are all been done a million times in John Hughes movies. So originality is beyond 0.
But it was done well. So if you're doing something well, it deserves a decent score.
I don't know how you can give it an 8.5. That's for like something truly unique.
I almost dropped it to
amazing.
An 8. I almost put it at an 8.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't have to fucking make excuses to you. Fuck you. I enjoyed the motherfucking movie.
I enjoyed it. It just wasn't. I mean, I think a 6 is more than generous.
And the thing that actually does make it a little bit original is it's not a straight up fucking action movie. You know, it had its moments. There was like, you know, I don't say heart wrenching moments or anything, but it made you feel a little bit. It was different. It was a different action movie. That's all I got. I liked it. I would go see it again. You know, and they did kind of dip into like other Transformers things and hinted on them. Like the 2 Decepticons that came down. I personally would have liked maybe a little bit if it was like an actual Decepticon, not new ones. But I understood why. You know, just like, you know, some things in Spider-Man. I would have liked a little bit more of the cartoony bubbles and shit, but that didn't detract from my score at all because I realized that was a fine line. But here, these are just militant. They're red shirts. You know they're going to fucking die.
Gotta sell toys, man.
Well, they're going to sell the toys of these people.
That's what I'm saying. You could put new characters in and sell the toys.
Right. But Shatter and Dropkick were the bounty hunters, if you will, coming after Bumblebee. The thing that I thought was cool was they paid homage to the Triple Changers from the original Transformers. She had like Astro Train and what was the other one? Blitzwing, I think. I had Astro Train. I gotta find that fucker. I know I have him in my parents' basement. And, you know, they changed between robot form and 2 other forms. These Decepticons changed from the robot form to 2 other forms. Very cool homage to it. I like that. But
do you know what I want? I really want like a GoBots movie that is just an exact ripoff of Transformers, but not as good. And then we can review it and give it like a 3.
I would do that.
That's what I want.
I do have GoBots.
Of course.
They're on the shelf upstairs below the shelf of the Transformers because they're second rate.
But let us know what you think of the movie.
And go out and see these 2 movies if you didn't already.
Yeah, hit us up.
They're definitely worth to go see.
Dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com.
Check us out on Twitterverse @TheNerdcast. Holidays have been a little slow putting shit up there, but get back into it because it's just going to happen. We're going to have actually a cool year, I think, for movies coming up. We'll have a lot to discuss. Disney had a huge year last year, over $7 billion fucking dollars. Wow.
It's like more than most nations.
Yeah. There are third world countries that will dream about that. This year, they have a shit ton of movies coming out. Will they top it is the key thing.
100% they do.
They have a lot coming out, man. Not just Marvel shit. They have a lot coming out.
And Avengers is expected to make $2 billion. That's already a quarter of their earnings. So there you go.
We got Captain Marvel, Avengers, Dumbo, Aladdin,
Lion King,
Toy Story 4, which I guarantee you it will be fucking humongous.
Yeah.
Like other things I have.
I'll be seeing Child's Play that day. Fuck Toy Story 4.
You will see just the Marvel movies of what Disney's putting out, right?
Yeah.
Plus, then they got Star Wars coming out the end of the year, which you know is still going to be it's going to be $1 billion movie, man. Going to be $1 billion movie. They're going to break in the fucking dough.
Not getting my $10.
Good. I'll review that one myself. We'll just call it Dysfunctional by myself. But seriously, let us know what you thought of us this year. And we look forward to a new year in 2019, providing you with all the nerd news and movie reviews and horror shit that we can find. And
so until next time, stick around for the post-credit and listen for the bloopers and party like it's 2019, bitches. So prior to the bloopers, we got to give one last shout out, and it's late. It's as late as he downloads our episodes. So shout out to
John Yasudas. Thank you very much.
There you go. Don't bitch about your non-shout out.
And download the shit on time next time. Move up through the ranks. Hey, nobody's perfect. Not even Aaron. So here's a couple of awkward moments we had during the year. Hope you enjoy it.
Whenever you're ready.
How do we start it? Do I start it with the saying?
Yeah.
Or do I say, welcome to...
No, you always said, like, in honor of blah, 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 blah. Welcome to the fourth episode.
Man. Got to cut all that out already.
That's all right.
It's been so long. All right, here we go. I'm, like, nervous.
It's because you're not drinking.
I guess. Man. All right. You hit record and then cough into it.
I can edit all this shit out.
That was real fucking swift. In honor of AIDS Awareness Month, there's Josh's cough.
I had all my blood transfused like Magic Johnson. I'm cured.
That wasn't my real intro.
For a minute, I was just like, what I don't have a comeback for that.
Alright, you gotta settle down. You gotta plug her own stuff. I thought you were gonna plug her own stuff again.
Oh, fuck.
That's what I was waiting for.
Fuck.
I thought you were gonna do that after ours.
Fuck. Should I do the whole thing again? And I should.
I don't know. Like,
what did I say?
I don't even know.
Fuck. All right. So, what?
You can tell it's getting late.
I know. Like,
My mind is melted.
I'm not even drunk. I'm like tired.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired. It's fucking 12:45.
Fucking, this is actual work. We're like doing an 8-hour recording session here.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get an Instagram thing going. I don't know. Seems like a cool thing, but if we get that going as well, we'll hit that up, let you know about it. And that's
Why did you even bring up Instagram?
I don't know. It was awful. I am sitting in my basement.
Oh my god.
All right. Why did I say that?
You're like, if we hit it, we hit it. Maybe we'll let you know.
Maybe it's fucking late and I gotta get up in 4 hours.
Oh my god. In honor of Emphysema Month.
I can't even breathe.
Dude, I'm like, it's delirious.
Okay, hold on.
I don't even know how to start anymore.
I gotta come back. Reality is gonna come back, I swear. Okay. Are you crying?
Yes. I think I could do it.
I got it. I gotta do this. I thought you wanted me to do like, and I was like, "What do you want me to do?" And you're like, "Plug her." I'm like, what do you mean?
Plug her. I could do it if you want.
All right. What? Why don't? Okay. Okay.
All right.
Wait a minute.
This will be fun listening back.
Oh my god.
10 minutes of nothing to 1 minute of quality.
So don't forget, you can always reach us by email at.
What is your problem? I don't know. What was the funny about email? Email. It's the remake of the letter. Oh, your dog's coming in here.
That's right. I don't care.
At this point, who gives a fuck?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I don't give a fuck. So if you want to reach us by email,
You got our early morning listening on AM 105.9.
that's FM Jackass.
I don't know. What's an AM station?
AM 1090.
Oh, AM 1090. Wake up, San Francisco. You are now listening to DNC. I don't know where we cut.
Just do it all over.
The whole thing.
You're killing me, Smalls. I don't want to
All
fucking
right.
edit, dude. What the fuck?
All right. What time do we got here?
We got 7:41. You got
All
plenty
right.
of time. We only need 5 minutes.
All right.
You know.
Welcome to episode 19 of Dysfunctional Nerdcast. I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
and today we're going to be learning what it's like to be. This is so bad.
You're like, and you're like, come on down, the Faulkner Chevrolet.
Yeah. God damn. So, in honor of Free Comic Book Day, May the 4th be with you, and Cinco de Mayo, let's menage a trois this shit.
Menage a trois.
What did I say?
You said menage a trois.
Menage a trois. That's menage a trois.
Yeah, but you said menage a trois.
Menage Mahal. The Menage Mahal. The Taj Mahal. Let's Taj Mahal this shit. Let's Taj Mahal it. We're not even editing this. It's so awful.
We're fucking stupid. You gotta do that over.
I gotta do that over? I think this is gold right now. All right.
Do not get silly like we did the last time.
Let's Taj Mahal this bitch.
Menage a trois.
Menage a trois. Menage a trois.
Menage a trois.
Menage a trois. Menage a trois.
What?
Menage
That'd be
a
great too.
Menage a trois.
Can't you say it like that?
If I say it like that, you're gonna lose it. I know. This guy with his syphilis.
It's not syphilis. Syphilis is when you leak from your cock. Oh, that's gonorrhea.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
All right. So, in honor of Free Comic Book Day, may the 4th be... Why did you have to do that? God almighty, I'm trying to be serious.
All right, give me a second. I gotta compose.
I'm ready.
I'm not.
This thing, that makes my mouth taste like fucking milk.
Maybe it's the can. You're eating can.
Hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor.
Have a Garen set on your Namaz Etoile day. Yeah, have a Gansett. It's just a Gansett. That's when you know you're a real drinker, when you call it Gansett and not Narragansett. So in honor of Free Comic Book Day... That's not funny at all! What the fuck, man? That's not funny at all.
I can't do this. All right. Why can't we do this? This is fucked up.
I'm fucking golden now. Golden like my leaking syphilis.
I'm pretty sure it's gonorrhea.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have either one of them.
Not currently. All right. No, not good. I was good till you fucking started that shit.
Those are doll's eyes. The USS Indianapolis took us down.
Do you have to piss since I've taken so long?
You see this?
What, your nipple?
Broken heart. You see this? It's my gonorrhea. And that's just how he laughed. That's just how Richard Dreyfuss laughed. Now I'm gonna hear the fucking orca sounds, and then the boat's just gonna fucking come leaking.
I might have to leave the room. There's something about this room. I don't know. Come on. What are you doing over there? You're like...
I'm trying to relax.
You're trying to relax?
I'm like Chewbacca playing fucking... What's he playing? So in honor of Free Comic Book Day, may the 4th be with you, and Cinco de Mayo, let's menage a trois this shit.
You only said 2 things.
No, I didn't. I said all 3.
Did you?
Oh my god!
I only heard 2.
You're killing me! You are killing me!
I'm not laughing. I'm just saying you. I thought, what? You didn't say all 3.
I said may in honor of Free Comic Book Day
And May the 4th.
and Cinco de Mayo.
I didn't hear the first part.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't
think you did.
Whatever.
All right.
In honor of Aquaman, let's make our listeners Oh man, listeners.
Listeners.